I wanted to make this video because I have been heavily criticizing a few people over the last couple of months that are claiming or were claiming that they were very close friends with Charlie, best friends with Charlie. He was like a brother to me. All of these different titles and labels, basically saying that they had a great and close relationship with Charlie Kirk. But in the last 10 months, I feel like it's very telling, at least to me, that we found out very quickly who Charlie Kirk's real friends were in these last 10 months. And it hurts me. It does, because it sucks watching something unfold that we know deep down that there will be no justice for Charlie on record. There might be street justice. We might figure out who are phonies and who are fakes, but they will live on and have their careers, their corrupt careers and fraudulent careers. And we will know exactly who they are truly deep down, but there will never be actual justice served for Charlie. And it's unfortunate because as we know that as regular people that still to this day probably remember 9/10 in the back of our head. I knew exactly where I was in 9/10 when I saw the news. I know exactly how I felt afterwards. I know how I felt in the days, the weeks, the months after that. And it sucks because some of the people that were truly close to Charlie, that claimed that they were close to Charlie, they aren't as mad at us. They aren't as upset as us. And there's no way in the world that we know deep down nothing's going to happen from this. And these people who have the platforms, who have the connections, probably know the same thing, but for some reason it doesn't upset them as much. And even with the things that we have learned since 9/10, the details, all the different characters that play a role in this story, all the shady things that's been going on with his wife, with his close friends, with the TPUSA orbit in general, the people that were closest to him, his inner circle. With knowing the things that we know now, there are still people out there that still don't speak up, that still won't say a word. And so I have been talking about Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly for a couple of months now. And it's been, mixed emotions throughout the community because obviously everybody loves, some people love Megyn, a lot of people love Tucker. And these are tough conversations to have because I think for people, again, if you're claiming that you were a close friend to Charlie, I think you should speak up. I know you should speak up. I know you should. And it's a tough conversation again. And that's something that I always bring to the table is just honesty, tough conversations, and I'm open-minded. But with those two specifically, it sucks watching them stay quiet. For Megyn Kelly specifically, she has completely turned into an op. She is now completely on Turning Point's side. She has been very consistent with, I know for a fact Tyler Robinson did it 100%. The evidence is overwhelming. She's one of them, right? She played the fence for as long as she could until she couldn't no more. And that was the prelim. When the prelim started, she chose her side. But this whole time, she's been playing the fence as, oh, Charlie was changing his perspectives on Izzy. And Candace has a right to ask all these questions. She only did it because it was trending. She only did it because she's on record talking to Charlie about Izzy. But she didn't truly have Charlie's back. Because if you truly feel like Candace has great questions, then how in the same sentence are you saying you are 100% confident and positive that Tyler Robinson did it? That's impossible. I'm not saying you can't have your belief, but you can't be 100% certain on one theory while also being 100% certain that Candace has a right to ask questions. That doesn't make any sense at all. Either Candace has a right to ask questions, or maybe you're not as confident that Tyler Robinson did it. But you can't say I'm 100% sure and the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson did it, but then say, well, Charlie was changing his views, so that is kind of weird. So that Megyn exposed herself in the prelim by bringing on Jack Posobiec. Even though Jack Posobiec has lied to the world, he's been debunked. Megyn brought him on her channel anyway, and broadcasted him and platformed him to her audience and listeners, and he lied again. And Megyn backed him. That was disappointing. And no, I don't think she deserves a lick of grace from her listeners and her audience. Because I know Candace told her audience to give her grace, give her time. She'll turn around. No, she won't, in my opinion. She's been consistent since day one that Tyler Robinson is the shooter. He did it 100% positive. He looks like somebody that would do it. She's gone. Now, she's an op. I want to go to Tucker Carlson. That's probably the hardest conversation between for a lot of people because a lot of people love Tucker, including myself. Um, I've loved the things that Tucker's been talking about in the last couple of years, not ever or always, because clearly he worked for Fox. He was paid to push propaganda at one time, and people tend to forget that. But when it comes to Charlie Kirk specifically, I don't agree with Tucker's moves on this at all. It's very questionable. And yes, this is a topic that exposes people's true colors, unfortunately. And I think that it's a serious matter because Charlie Kirk is no longer here to speak or defend for himself. And so, with the context around the relationship between Tucker Carlson and Charlie Kirk, it bothers me. It does. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it because everybody would be gutted if Tucker came out to truly be on the op side. I would too. I hope I'm wrong. But I think with the context of the fact that Charlie Kirk, in his final days on earth, he refused to denounce Tucker. He refused to turn his back on Tucker in his final days on earth. Right? Imagine if you were Tucker Carlson and you looked at these text messages that Charlie sent out in his final days, and he was defending you, saying, yeah, donors is pulling money left and right because I won't cancel Tucker, and I won't. I'm going to bring him back. I'm about to invite Candace back. I'm about to bring the whole gang back. Pump that money. He was talking about Tucker Carlson in his final days. He told Tucker Carlson to go max. There was already a plan in place, but once Charlie Kirk told Tucker Carlson to go max at SAS and he hit the stage and he did what he did, it really catapulted into the plan of eliminating Charlie. So with all of that being said, now that everything is going on the way it is, it's unfolding, right? People are lying. Charlie's inner circle is lying. Erica is lying. Erica talked about, Candace presented that Charlie was changing his perspective and views on Izzy, and Erica said, first off, Erica didn't say a word. Candace came out and said all of that. Erica didn't say a word. Candace got all of this backlash saying, no, she's a liar, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out Candace released the text messages and he was changing his perspectives and views. Erica never said a word. She didn't come out and tell all of her Shalami soldiers and minions to stop ganging up on Candace. No, she's right. Charlie was changing his views. Don't call her those names. Stop being mean. She let all of it happen. Charlie Kirk texted multiple people that he felt like he was going to die. Candace revealed that. Erica came out and said, no. That never happened. That never happened. He didn't text anybody. Why? You want to know why? Because I have his phone. Candace brought the receipts and said, here it is. What a strange thing to lie about. So I'm bringing that all up to say, all of these details surrounding what happened to Charlie is very strange. But the only time Tucker ever comments on it is when it involves him defending Erica. That I can't get with. Everybody knows Erica's a shady person. Everybody. And the fact that Candace, again, brought up a situation where Erica and Charlie had their final dinner at Tucker Carlson's house, right? Maybe not like ever, but I'm saying they had their last dinner at Tucker Carlson's house together. And Tucker Carlson watched Erica in his face be anti-Izzy. And then Charlie dies and he watched Erica flip. Now she's pro-Izzy. It's a Zionist ran organization. Everything that Charlie was trying to fight against. Tucker Carlson watched all of that happen. And instead of coming out, and I'm not telling him to bash Erica, but instead of coming out and acknowledging all these things that will help find the truth of what happened to Charlie, he defends Erica and says, nope, I love her so much. He even says, I don't care about all the other things that's going on. I don't want to know. That to me doesn't sound like a friend of Charlie. Because unfortunately, truth hurts. And if the truth involves Erica being somebody that is a very suspicious character in this situation, is what it is. How much did you love Charlie, bro? You talked about Izzy all the time, him and Megyn Kelly. Tucker Carlson has a full documentary on Izzy. But now Charlie's gone. You have Joe Kent on. You have all these Jimmy Dore, you have all these people on that's saying there could have been foreign involvement, and it's weird. And Tucker Carlson even admitted that he wasn't killed by a transgender furry. Everybody knows that. Everybody that's closest to him knows that. He's more than likely killed because he changed his perspectives on Izzy. Okay, so this is your time to shine then. You've been talking about Izzy for years. Now your best friend is gone, or your close friend is gone. This is your time to shine. Continue talking about Izzy. Now you have a motive to talk about Izzy. Now you have all of these different things that you can get into because Charlie Kirk is gone. But instead you defend Erica, who goes on national, even think that Izzy has something to do with it. You're anti-Semitic. You're demonic. And Tucker defends that and loves her. He's going to use the excuse of, I don't know what's going on, but that's not an excuse, bro. That's a weak answer to avoid being real with your audience. And I think Tucker defending Erica out of everything that's been going on and then using the excuse of, I don't know what's going on, I refuse to look at it, I think that's soft. I think that's weak. I really do. I'm not really buying the whole, oh, maybe JJ, maybe he's being threatened by the blue and white country. He doesn't want to say anything. He's been talking about the blue and white country for years. He made a whole documentary on them. He went over there and got interrogated and all this other stuff that was going on. He's not scared. Okay. So you draw the line when Charlie Kirk is dead. Now you don't want to talk about the blue and white country. You want to talk about them all this time, right? I'm not saying for no reason, but you want to talk about them all this time. And you were so confident in talking about them. Now that Charlie Kirk's dead and you even admit that they might have something to do with it, now you're silent, but you're going to defend the woman that's trying to tell everybody else to not look at them and calling us demonic and anti-Semitic because we're calling out what we see, and you're going to defend her? But then people get mad when I say, is Tucker Carlson controlled op? People get mad when I say that. But if I'm just being real, all of these people are feds until they prove us wrong. He used to work for Fox. He used to get a check to push propaganda. So then everybody wants to believe that, oh, he had this awakening. No, the check stopped coming. Now he's independent. Now he's pushing his own thing. But you used to push propaganda. Now, again, I didn't like Tucker then. I'm saying I love what he talks about now. But why were you so loud and vocal about Izzy all of these years? And now that Charlie's gone, you're dead silent when this is the perfect time to talk about it. It's very strange. And Tucker defending Erica in light of everything that we know. And his excuse is, I don't want to know the things that's going on around it and all that. That's not good for me. Because when it comes to Charlie Kirk, he's gone. He can't defend himself. Erica's lying. Turning Point is lying. Andrew Kovitz lying. But Tucker Carlson, he loves Erica. He loves Blake Neff. That is the strangest two people, two of the strangest people in this entire story. He loves them. I think it's very odd and strange. And I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Charlie that the only person out of Charlie's circle that say that they loved him and is showing it is Candace Owens. And people always talk about this candy coat thing. I can't stand any of that. I love Candace because she seems like the most authentic and genuine person out of Charlie's circle. And I believe her when she says how hurt she is and that she wants to find the truth. I believe her. Are there things that I might disagree with that she might do sometimes? Yeah, but majority of the time, I believe her. And if something is a little off, majority of the time, I'm going to give her grace because I believe her. Why do I believe her? Because of the emotions she has in this case, the emotions she's shown towards Charlie, how vocal she is about so many things being off. Everything that we're thinking, she's saying it. She's using her platform to say it. Why everybody else is like, I don't want to get into that because they're afraid of losing audience. Well, Candace seems like the most genuine person, and I believe her. And what I want to show today is Candace's tribute to Charlie Kirk, which is another reason why when I saw this, I said, man, I believe everything this woman says. I believe that she's going to get down to the bottom of what happened because we don't have a single video like this from anybody. Now, obviously, yes, this is the internet. Some people just may not have felt comfortable talking about this topic on the internet. Tucker Carlson, maybe Megyn Kelly, maybe. But 10 months later with no answers and the prelim that was a disaster the other week, Candace Owens is the only person out of Charlie's circle that brings up valid emotions that we all feel as random strangers. That something is off. I'm so sad that it doesn't seem like we're going to get justice for Charlie. This bothers the hell out of me. Why are all of these people around Charlie so suspicious and lying on the internet every day? How does that not bother the people that claim to be close to Charlie? Watching Blake Neff lie, Andrew Kovac lie, Turning Point USA lie, Erica lie. How does that not fuel the people that claim to be Charlie's friends? But yet they're going to sit here and say, no, I defend Erica, Kirk. I love her so much. I just talked to her the other day. She's great. So I want to play Candace's tribute, the last 5 minutes of it. And I just want to remind everybody the emotions of this video and the fact that we haven't got this from anybody, not even his own wife. The emotions of it. And so when people say, Jay, do you feel like Candace is control op? Do you feel like she's in on it? Because is she in the same boat as Megyn and Tucker? My answer is going to be no, because I have no reason to feel like that with her. I haven't. Nothing appears to be that way. And then lastly, I look back at this video and I say this is the only only person that I've ever seen have this type of emotion towards Charlie Kirk. And I have no reason to believe that she's lying. I feel like she genuinely loved that boy and they was really best friends. So I want to play this video and remind everybody what a real tribute looks like.
He was also there the night that I met my husband, which was absolutely an incredible night. And in the UK, which I didn't expect to happen. I got to tell you, initially, Charlie, ever the analytical mind, when I told him, I'm like, I think I'm going to marry this guy. First, he's like, wait. Like, is this going to be good for your brand? I'm like, Charlie, this is love. This is not a brand decision. And then he sat down and he spent just one evening with George, and Charlie was just the most supportive of everything. And this is our text chain speaking about that moment. He's like, his heart is wonderful. You guys are meant for each other. I see it brilliantly and clearly. And he gets it. He isn't afraid of you being you. And he's been through hell. And it was, Charlie was by my side the day that I got married. Of course, he was by my side, when I got married to George. And of course, Charlie fell in love with Erica. That entire journey to me when I was reading through a text is so funny because it was exceptional. I was always leaning into Charlie's analytical mind and making fun of him. Like, oh, well, all we need to do is get a plan. You love Erica? Okay, what's the plan? What are we going to do? What's step one? What's step two? And the plan that I came up with instantly was all we have to do is convince her that her last name is terrible. Her last name, she's got to marry you because it's practical. Mrs. Erica Kirk sounds so much better than Miss Erica Francie. What is that last name? It's a practical decision. This is the text chain from that. Charlie and Erica Kirk, he says, is going to be the power couple of a century. I need to continue to pray about it. I said, her last name's dumb. She literally needs you to propose. It's way too complicated. He said, I'm going to tell her it sounds like a sneeze. It's horrible. And then I wrote, marry me. It's a logistics thing. That's just who we were. Always making fun and always wanting to know what the plan was. And obviously it worked, you guys. It worked. Our plan worked. We broke Erica down. First came the name shame, then came the wedding, and then came the children. Charlie really loved Erica from the time I'm reading through the text today. Just loved her. He loved his family. He really did. And I just want to say that Charlie and I, because I think this is important, never for a single minute ever did Charlie and I stop being friends. Even when the world demanded that from both of us, our relationship was real. We were brother and sister. We were fortified. Our relationship was forged in fire, the fire of politics. I knew him. I knew Charlie, the real Charlie. And Charlie knew the real Candace, and people knew I didn't like a lot of people in politics. I didn't like a lot of people calling me and doing the political dance. Of course, people guessed it correctly when they said, oh, the person who probably was the intermediary when Trump called about Brigitte was Charlie Kirk. Of course it was Charlie. They would never send anybody else to call me with anything because they knew that Charlie was a brother to me. And there was so many things that were said that were wrong. And we laughed at how wrong it was when people thought that when I had made up my mind about Israel, that Charlie and me fell apart. Nope. Never, not for a second. I said, it's the easiest decision ever because Charlie knew who I was and I knew who he was. I said, Charlie, this is where I'm at and there's no room for movement. And you tell your whoever that needs to hear it, whatever you need to tell them, because we're always going to be brothers and sisters, you know? We're always going to be brother and sister. And we would talk about things and debate things behind the scenes. And I think my perspective was as it's been throughout our relationship. You might not get it now, Charlie, but you will. I'm only a few years older than you, but I think you're gonna see things my way. And I think in the end, Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation. I don't think it. I know it. He was going through a lot, and there was a lot of pressure. And it's hard for me to watch the people who were pressuring him, I don't know, just say the things that they're saying. You know, there's something about it that just feels really fake to me. And they would have allowed him to lose and wanted him to lose everything for changing or even slightly modifying an opinion. And then to see them doing what they're doing today, it's hurtful to me. It's very hurtful to me. But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. You know, he was like, we were really close. And he was my best friend and my brother. And I will never unsee the footage of what I saw, the violence of it. I pray for the people who took any pleasure in that. There's not a single person in the world that I would wish that on. And least of all, someone with a heart like Charlie's. He loved his family, he loved his wife, he loved his country. And he didn't deserve that ending. You know, he's really young. But I know that we will carry the torch. I will never allow the memory of Charlie to be forgotten, obviously, because there is no Candace without Charlie. You know, we came up in politics together. And so I don't know what else to say, guys, other than I'm in a lot of pain right now. And I love you, Charlie. And, I'll see you when I'll see you. I love you very much. Thank you, guys.
That was a tough one. But that's what I mean, man. Like seeing everything that's going on right now, the Turning Point USA lying, Erica lying, all of the people that were closest to Charlie lying, it should fuel all of the people that claim that they were close with Charlie Kirk. It should fuel them. That's the emotion. And I think that's why everybody can resonate with Candace, because that's how we would feel with our closest friends. If something were to happen to them, we would feel this way. It doesn't matter if he was married to somebody. If his wife was lying, we would feel this way. We would be so hurt. And it truly does bother me, the fact that Candace is the only person that we can get that from. Everybody else is over it, or they don't want to talk about it, or they're trying to move on, or they completely took the side of the liars. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. But that is exactly why I believe Candace is genuine. That's why I feel like Candace will get down to the bottom of what happened to the best of her abilities. Because the emotions right there, you cannot deny, are real. And we will see. We will continue to push for truth. Hopefully, every day that goes by, we get closer and closer to finding some type of justice for Charlie. But in the end, it's still sad to see that out of all the real friends that people claim that they were to Charlie, it's sad to see that every month that goes by, it seems like one is dropped off, one at a time. And right now, I feel like in the end, the only person who didn't switch up was Candace Owens. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. I love y'all. I will see y'all on the next one.